welcome back, another Paul Massive video. Today let's talk a bit about the Sneasel Silver and Sneasel that's coming out later tonight, which as usual we will be pulling for live, so make sure y'all subscribe and have notifications on, tune in for that, and good luck to anyone who are pulling for him as well. So alright, let's get in this unit. So first of all, it's a quick refresh of this guy's kit, and yeah, like overall he's just got a lot of great things straight off the bat, right? Like 404 attack, that's really nice, right? 400 speed's really good. And then on top of that, you have, you know, you got moves like triple axle. Well, he has two triple axles, one regular triple axle and another B triple axle, right? So attack up to 3 times in a row. It'll hit 3 times unless like you just fail the accuracy check, right? That's like the basic thing. And then power increase of each hit gets doubled, blah blah blah, right? Every time. And then after using the move, attack's power returns normal. X speed plus, so you could actually max out your speed there by himself. And then B triple axle, that's you can only use it when your HP is full, which is slightly, they're just trying to encourage you to use it like as soon as possible, right? You know. So hopefully the opponent doesn't really use any AoE moves or whatever, and you could actually get a chance to use it A, after you get your offensive stats buffed, and B, hopefully after your sync, right? So that's, I guess, my only concern over here, right? But otherwise, it's a pretty easy activation condition, obviously. It's hard, you know, to keep it active, but to activate it, not that bad. So yeah, basically attacks up 3 times in a row, same as triple axle, right? If you miss, then you're screwed, kind of. Attack power increases for each hit, blah 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 blah. It starts at a higher base power, right? It starts with 24 or 20 more base power, and then every single hit reduces your sync move countdown. So if all 3 of them hit, right, that's an entire turn gone. That's -3 sync move countdown, and you know, gives you crit +1 after each hit, which this part I don't really like, but you know, whatever, right? And then yeah. So that's the B move. You only get to use it once, though. Only get to use it once, unfortunately. But anyways, your train move, I won't leave you. Move gauge acceleration to ally field of play. Raises user attack by 3. And then your sync nuke is based on the opponent's speed being lowered. So yeah, as for the passives, you have Adrenaline, even more sync move countdown. Adrenaline 2, in fact, right? Not even like 1. Inertia, and then Tripping Strike 9. So yeah, every single hit of your triple axle gives a minus speed, so you could actually get -6 speed to your opponent in just 2 triple axles, basically. So yeah, that's the base kit. It's pretty nice base kit, honestly, just from the jump, right? Like obviously, like it's, you know, its main damage is like a, you know, 2 gauge move, right? That could actually hit some pretty good numbers, even at 1 out of 5. I mean, it's not be the most it could do, obviously, but you know, 1 out of 5 is still like solid, right? And then on top of that, you have very good speed, very good gauges, right? You max out your speed yourself, and then you have move gauge acceleration on your trainer move as well. This part slightly sucks, because if you want to max out his physical attack by himself, you have to use it twice, which kind of wastes move gauge acceleration, but you know, whatever, right? And then again, 400 speed, so just a very fast tech damage dealer. So, alright, in terms of the grid, how many copies you want, at 1 out of 5, you do get like the basics over here, right? I mean, at 1 out of 5, he's going to be a really good, again, gauge unit, right? Really good speed debuffer. You can do some damage. You can nuke a bit, right? But most importantly, he has the sync move countdowns. He has both the -3 over here and then the -2 over here as well, right? So he's honestly really, you know, solid at 1 out of 5. And then at 2 out of 5, you get a few things. None of which I think are like a huge deal. I don't think any of these are like bursted. Maybe would be nice with that triple axle, right? But otherwise, yeah, the only like big thing is like the accuracy nodes. Maybe, you know, you don't want these to miss, right? Definitely don't want these to miss. So yeah, that's about it at 2 out of 5. I wouldn't really go chasing for 2 out of 5. As for 3 out of 5, yeah, that's where you get most of the good stuff, right? Invigorating Hail 5, Heavy Hail 5, right? That's extra 50%. move damage and sync damage and hail, and then you also got Hunter's Instinct, that's another 30%, and then Cakewalk up here, that's another 100% on your sync. And Hunter's Instinct, Cakewalk, really easy to get with him, right? Really easy to get. You have Restoring Strike 1 on your triple axle. I mean, it's alright. I guess, you could use it if before you got your triple axle off, and then like you took some damage from an AoE, so you kind of have to heal a bit just to have this activate again. So all right, Super Command 9 gives you super effective up next, after you use like a training move. I mean, it's not bad, right? Because you could use that between using like XP. You could use one of your trainer moves, right, and then like hit something with super effective up next, and then spend another turn getting X speed. So like the turns that you spend on using X speed, increasing your team speed gauges, all that stuff, is not really wasted as much in terms of the damage side of things, right? So this is actually not bad, honestly. And then you have Pinpoint Entry 2, which gives you accuracy, which again you want because you don't want these things to miss, right? Because if these things do miss, especially this one, they'll be kind of disastrous, right? Kind of disastrous. Do you need 4 out of 5? Not really. First of all, you have Base Strike, get Evasion, which, I mean, not that big of a deal. It's just like, oh, cool, dodge some AoE moves. But otherwise, you're probably not really tanking with them. At least I hope not. And then Punishing Strike 4. It's 50%. It's not like a guaranteed, but I mean, it's still not bad, right? It's not bad, but it's also not something you got to go for. 5 out of 5, you have Soften Up. Soften Up is nice, but I also do feel like it's another one of those cases. Like, his grid already costs, like, quite a bit at 3 out of 5 if you want to get, a lot of the goods. Like, look at this, man. This is 10 energy, this is 10 energy, this is 10 energy, this is 10 energy, right? Then you got stuff like this is also 10 energy. If you want to go for, like, Mighty Rush 9, that's another 10 energy, right? Like, there's just a lot of things that cost a lot of energy, right? So like, Soften Up, cool, right? But it's Soften Up is just like a quality of life sort of note, right? Like, you're not, I don't think you would be sacrificing too much to go for like a quality of life thing, right? What else? Unfortunate Strike 9. I mean, this is all right. It's random stats, but it is still like 3 stats on the debuff, so it's not bad, right? It's not bad. So yeah, I'd say mainly 1 out of 5, 3 out of 5, maybe 5 out of 5, right? But it's definitely not necessary. Or 4 out of 5, right? 4 out of 5. Again, Punishing Strike 4 is not bad either, but definitely not necessary. Definitely not necessary. Moving on, let's talk about the sync grid, lucky skills, team comp, all that stuff, right? So lucky skills, you could just standard striker stuff, Weathered Warrior 3, right? Or super whatever. I can never remember it, man. What's it called? It's super power 3, right? And then crit strike 2, obviously. Although low key, Adrenaline 1 would be kind of nice for him too, because you already have Adrenaline 2. So if you give him Adrenaline 1, that's another -3 from by himself, right? So I don't know. Honestly, if I would prefer Adrenaline 1 over all those, like, the extra damage is nice, right? Don't get me wrong, but I'm in favor of Adrenaline 1 for that Adrenaline 3 after this -3 over here as well, right? So anyways, highly recommend Adrenaline 1 if you could afford it. So yeah, there's that. And then as for your grids, 1 out of 5, you could probably pick up everything if you have the orbs, but if not, then just go for the these power-ups, right? Maybe unflappable in some cases where you get flinched. Speed, right? Attack, speed, power-up nodes. At this stage, he doesn't. None of this stuff really require hail at all, so it's you don't really need to pick up Snow Shelter, unless you're running him in a hail team. Then okay, sure then, right? But yeah, he doesn't really get his like hail multipliers until like 3 out of 5. So, 2 out of 5. Again, you don't have too much here. But I'd take something like a Burst In at least, right? Take the Burst In, take the accuracy nodes for, love of God, please. Take the accuracy nodes. And, yeah, you probably take the triple axle move gauge refresh as well. Maybe the slippery one on XP just because there's not too much else. But, outside of that, just pick up some more triple axle nodes, right? beat triple axle if it's a shorter stage, regular triple axle if it's a longer stage, probably something like that. I don't know. So yeah, if you want endurance, I don't really see a scenario because he's really powerful, right? I don't really see a scenario where you have to go for that endurance. All right, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5. So this is where things get interesting because there's a lot of things you could do. First is do run him on a hail team because there's a few things about hail team. First of all, you have to commit to like a hail team. Hail teams, like the options aren't great, so you could definitely go for a hail team, but you could also not go for a hail team, right? Like for example, you could do something like this: Hunter's Instinct. Yeah, Hunter's Instinct with Cakewalk over here with the Sync Move power up nose, and then go for like Mighty Rush and Super Command 9. Because again, this is after every trainer move, right? Or you know, the either's X speed plus or the like trainer move, right? You get the super effective up next, right? And again, you don't have to spam all these in succession and like at the end of the day you use like 2 trainer moves and you only get +1 super effective up next. No, you could space these out a bit. You could just use one of these, right? Hit him, use another one, hit him. Although I probably use two of these and hit him, but or if you have someone else to max out his physical attacks, you could just save these for move gauge acceleration. So like, you could just use one for the first move gauge acceleration, then start attacking, and then use X speed, then attack again, X speed again, attack again, right? You're just getting multiple super effective up next, while also helping your team's gauge, right? So I feel like low-key, I kind of like this more than the hail setup, really. I really do. I feel like I like this more than the hail setup, but the hail you could go for that as well, right? So yeah, for the hail setup, this one's pretty intuitive. I feel right. Just go for all the things that are like damage multipliers basically, right? Maybe some accuracy over here, but yeah, if you don't have anyone to buff accuracy, because I'd probably recommend bringing someone to buff his accuracy. But if you don't want to play it safe, right? That's probably a great idea. You go for that pinpoint entry over there. As well, right? And then as for the rest, it depends, right? You could pick up like a Mighty Rush here, which is fine, right? Because he's a really good nuker, right? So you could definitely you could depend on him nuking. As for 4 out of 5s, you could definitely go for this Punishing Strike. I just do the same thing, except you replace that Mighty Rush with the Punishing Strike, especially if you are running a full physical team, right? Which is the reason why you'd be picking this up, right? You'd pick this up if you're running a physical team. If you're running like a mixed team, then like, okay, what are you doing, right? Although you could still do it, it's just not, you don't add as much value. As for 5 out of 5, you could do the Unfortunate Strike. In this case, you'd probably just swap out the Punishing Strike. Obviously, you're not getting as much value over there, but this is just, for specific scenarios, maybe against like a Latios or something, right? Maybe Cresselia, if you could get the right ones to hit. So next up for some team comps. So yeah, there's a few ways you could go with this. You could go with something like this, where you have the Steven, right? The SE Steven, which could give the opponent ice rebuff, right? He has ice. He could ice rebuff the opponents, and then also just give Sneasel just a bunch of physical move up next, right? He also has super effective up next. So even though he's not doing too much damage himself, he also debuffs opponents. He's like SE Steven, just like the ultimate physical support that's not a support. In that vein, you probably still want to bring a support, right? You could do something like Palatine's B that could tank pretty well, right? And then also give you, give him his attack, so he could use that second trainer move just as a move gauge acceleration thing, right? Although this is not a gauge costly team at all, honestly. So maybe you don't even have to worry about that. And then some more physical move up next from Palatine's B, and also obviously the hail, right? So if it's a shorter match, since you probably want to be syncing with what's his face, Sneasel a lot more, you probably won't be getting too much hail, right? So in this case, a bit of a shorter match, do something like that, right? As for some other options, I mean, in terms of like supports, right? There's just a lot of just good physical supports. Obviously, you have the spotlight option with Sonya or Aaron, right? It's not even like physical attack; it's more so like crit. Like you could even throw in like special supports. As long as you get the crit for maxed out. I know he maxes out his crit, but it's much better if you have the crit already maxed out before using your big B move, because that big B move does big damage, right? So, yeah, something like a Calum, a Holiday Jasmine, right? Tapu Bulu, obviously. So, yeah, no, a team of Tapu Bulu and SE Stevens. You know what? I might do a video. that sounds incredibly funny. But yeah, just a lot of these support options, especially the ones that can max out crit, would be nice. But in general, physical sports should be fine. So yeah, you can run something like that. Or the thing with him is, it's kind of rough running like double ice damage healers on the team, just because the other ones all are not great. Like you could, and especially if you're going for like physicals, right? If you have them like 4 out of 5 with punishing strike, then like I guess best you got is like Leon, Holiday Leon, and they do work pretty decently together, just because they're both really good speed wise, right? You know, they both have the thing. They both have the thing. If you do pick it up in the grid, right, where you know they want to like use their turn moves just to get like some extra like attack boost, right? Like Leon's a physical move up next, and Silver is what's it called, a super effective up next, right? Although you'd probably use them differently. Leon, you'll have much trouble because you could stack those, right? Silver can't stack them. You have to use them as you go. What's some other option? Oh, you can maybe run Hala just because like it's fast enough to carry this guy's terrible speed. But low key, I feel like a really nice one is like, or at least I don't know. I just feel like it just seems nice to me on paper. We obviously still have to try it out in battle, but I feel like Singsu N might be pretty fun over here, right? Just because, you know, with Singsu N, he got the 2-turn free shock and all, right? Which does, with his 2 prepared, right? You do have that sync move countdown, and then you get the extra sync move countdown with Silver. Like, you get some crazy sync move countdown with this team, right? Obviously, you're not getting damage with him, right? Because his damage is pretty, you know, bad. But on the other hand, since like you don't have to sync with N, right? Because Silver's just the much better nuker. Like you could, if you're gridding him, you could maybe spend a bit more on his DPS. Oh, never mind. He doesn't. Does he have anything for his DPS? I've not used him in a while, man. Well, it's just like okay, never mind. Just ignore that point. But it's just it's a fun sync move countdown team, right? And then over here you run like a Cresselia or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. It's not gonna be the best team offensively, right? Because he's, you know, not that like him and Hala are yeah, pretty neck and neck in terms of damage per turn. But it's I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be funny. Try it out, right? If you do have that option. Then the other one would be something like you could run it with Irida. Irida gives you both Hail and Ice Zone over there. Right, I know, oh, it's one's special, one's physical. Well, look, man, it is what it is. You don't have good special units, right? Are you wasting Irida's, like, master passive? Are you wasting her, you know, the debuffs, all that stuff? Yes, but, like, what can you do, man? Are you wasting Silver's debuffs? Yeah, but, like, what can you do? What can you do? It is what it is. They're both, it's kind of like, you know, you got two great, like, you know, like 2 great basketball players. Like they're both very ball dominant, isolation players, and then you put them on a team. Maybe they don't have any chemistry. They probably don't play that good team ball, but they're both individually good units, and they still work. And look, it's not like there's nothing. You still get like Hail and Ice Zones, so, you know. It's not nothing. Also, Hunter's Instinct, right? You know, the speed debuff, so they got that going. Dude, oh, would have been perfect if they made Silver special. Oh my god. I'm over that. Not really. So yeah, over here you can still do Paladin's B, but probably you want something a bit more interesting, right? I'd say Aura Cynthia will be a good one here, wherever Aura Cynthia is. and or the better option, in my opinion, at least, champion beat, right? So you get, you know, both physical and special move up next for these two, so you could do something like that as well for your teams. Alright, so going over some pro and con units. Pros, first of all, sync move countdown. Again, just one of the best in the business over here, right? His B move straight up, one entire turn gone, and then after you sync, that's like 2 more, you know, that's -2, right? So it's almost another turn. If you give him Adrenaline 1, man, that's another turn, you know, shut it off, right? Then second thing, speed gauge is very, very fast. He has X speed, he has move gauge acceleration, all that stuff. He's a low gauge cost unit in himself, right? His move is just 2 gauges, right? And then next up, he's probably like the best ice type damage dealer / like nuker in the game. Like his B move, obviously very, 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 very powerful over there, right? And then you know, his regular triple axle isn't that far off of like Holiday Leon either, right? Which is, I think, yeah. Is Holiday Leon the highest at the moment? Damn, Holiday Leon really is the highest at the moment, and it's not even like. It's not even that. It's not even like anything super crazy. Yeah, no, ice types are still down bad, man. Damn. All right. But yeah. He's just, I'd say overall probably the best damage user, just because he has that like B move, right? Otherwise, Holiday Leon still be better, but yeah, with the B move, I'd probably count him as probably the best ice type damage dealer at the moment, and then he's the best ice type nuker by like a mile, right? Like, congratulations to Irida, you had your like 2 weeks of being the best ice type nuker, and that's gone now. It's over. Anyways, but yeah, no, he's by far the strongest ice type nuker, right? So yeah, there's definitely that. Let's say that very, very, very efficient speed debuffer, right? And then there's even more debuffs, including physical defense, right? At 5/5, which maybe you could call a con because it's 5/5, but still, right? And then he is self-sufficient, right? He could max out his own crit, although I wouldn't advise you to, but you know, he could do it. And then he also has max, you know, physical attack buffs and speed buffs there as well. He's like, you know, he's pale away from being fully self-sufficient, but you know, you got most of them at least, right? As for cons, honestly, he doesn't have too many cons, right? Like the first one is, I guess, like the crit setup. We've mentioned that quite a few times right now. It's like, the crit setup is kind of awkward, right? Like, you get +1 crit for every B triple axle you hit, but you kind of want your crit already maxed out before you hit that, just because the B triple axle is a big damage dealing move, right? So that part slightly sucks, and you know, the other one is, it could have been special, man. So again, I don't really feel like he does have like really any big cons, right? He's just overall pretty good, right? Again, you could even he's even, you know, pretty solid at 1 out of 5, so. Yeah, no, don't have really big complaints with this unit. Anyways, overall, right? I think this is a fantastic unit. I don't know why people aren't talking about him more. Like, low-key, he's pretty much on the level of the Master Fairs. Almost. I personally like the 2 Master Fairs a bit more. But if you say Silver's better, I'd argue with you, but I won't argue with you too much, right? Like, he is really, really, really nice. Again, I feel like he's crazy underrated. People are not talking about this unit enough. Like, the straight up 2 turns, potentially 2 turns of sync move countdown by himself is crazy, first of all. He's a fantastic nuker, right? He's for an ice type, pretty good damage. He's really good damage dealer for an ice type, right? The gauges are fantastic. He's only a 2 gauge user, right? And all that stuff. Got the debuffs and all, like, he got a lot of things, man. He got a lot of things. I don't know. Am I over? I don't think I'm overrating. I think he's fantastic. Like, he's a straight up cheat code for master mode, right? Straight up cheat code for master mode with the sync move countdown over there. Like, it's nuts. And you know, not like he's not good in Gauntlet either. He's great in Gauntlet, right? He's gonna be great in Gauntlet with all those gauges, right? He's gonna be fantastic in Gauntlet as well. Also, low-key, one slightly underrated aspect versus Gauntlet units. Speed debuffers are low-key kind of good in Gauntlet. Speed debuffers are kind of good. They're kind of nice in Gauntlet, because some of those Gauntlet opponents are pretty slow, right? And you know, if you could slow them down even further, you could probably just get multiple turns of queuing up moves before they can even get one move in, right? So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. So overall, I'd say honestly, all things considered, right? especially, you know, with ice types this down bad. This is like a 8 out of 5 for me, right? This is a fantastic unit. Like again, even if you're not pulling him for the damage or whatever, like just for the sync move countdown alone, this is just this is worthy of serious consideration, right? Obviously you don't have to pull him right away. I'm pretty sure he lasts for a while, the banner, right? So you know, you can probably see what's coming up next month before deciding, but at the moment he's looking really good. I don't know, man. He looks great. Again, some people argue he's probably he's probably better than Irida. I don't really agree with that. His gimmick is his gimmick more powerful than Erica? Or Irida's? Probably. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I just feel like you just get a lot more out of Irida, right? And you know, the future potential for Irida is there, although again, it's a gamble, right? It might never happen. Well, it will happen eventually, but you know, it might not happen when she's like still relevant in terms of her kit in the current meta or whatever. Although you could also make the case that like, again, like Singsuit Silver's gimmick is it's not gonna age out, right? Like it's very hard for like a unit that has like 2 turns of sync move countdown shredding straight up, right? Get like aged out. Like that's gonna be a pretty decently age-proof sort of gimmick as well. So I don't know, but anyways, I personally prefer Irida. Plus she's a Master Fair, right? Like, you know, although Master Fairs are coming back a bit more commonly now, but you know, if you want to go for Silver over Irida, I would not blame you for that. He is very good and very worthy of consideration. So anyways, yeah, that's me with this one, I guess. Hope you all enjoyed. Guys, think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos more town for some more Pokemon content. See you guys in the next one then.